OMG, you're so cute. Will you be my boyfriend?
Online relationships have been around pretty much since the dawn of the internet itself, whether it's a simple friendship with someone a few hundred miles away or a romantic relationship with someone thousands of miles away. However, with new trends, you could say, coming and going, some of them tend to stick around longer than others, some being almost permanent, and some of these trends are even invading the dating market itself, most of the time being for the worst. I already know that I'm gonna get a lot of people hating me for this video. Anyways, online dating, the whole dating realm in general. You've probably seen so much advice on it. You've probably seen so many different things. Even I made my own video on this, based on my own experiences, of course. Online dating, whether you're the ultimate Sigma male, the ultimate Giga Chat, Discord e-daters, Roblox e-daters, Valorant e-daters. E-dater means online dater, by the way, just in case if you didn't know. Anything dating, literally anything online dating related. Oh my god. Don't even get me started on Discord kittens and Discord mods. Oh my gosh. So what is online dating and why is it a thing? Well, if you clicked on this video, I'm pretty sure you obviously know what online dating is, but just so I can get my point across and go more into detail and thoroughly explain what I mean by the title. So let me put this into a more real world example, right? So imagine you're a high school student, okay? And you really just don't have very good social skills, or you just don't fit in with everyone else. So instead, you spend most of your time just playing video games at home or scrolling online, which isn't inherently a bad thing at all. I mean, literally everyone does that nowadays, including me. I even do it too sometimes. Just have like the casual doom scrolling session, doom to scrolling TikTok and Instagram. However, when that's the only thing in your life, the only form of social interaction is just you shit talking people on video game lobbies and trolling people on Twitter. Okay, now that's fun and all. As fun as it is to just troll people, when it's the only thing you have in your life, just you being chronically online, you can say, it tends to get very lonely and sad, you know? Since you're kind of just like stuck in your room, you don't really go out, you don't really have much in-person social interactions. It's more that, what will I do? It's just so lonely that a lot of people don't feel like they can really relate to anyone, at least on the outside, because they're on like completely different things. Now, I'm not saying this is me, I'm just giving an example, because, you know, I see a lot of people online, right? Where, you know, it's like Discord moderators, Discord kittens, Roblox people, Roblox online daters, Valorant online daters. It's like, where does it end? To where it's like, typically a lot of those people just, they do exactly the things I just described. They just don't do anything else. They just stay inside. They don't really go out. And of course, that's not everyone. That's not entirely the case for everyone. I'm just saying as a broad example, this is just what I've observed, okay? This is just what I've seen. So many of those people, since they just don't go outside, it's just, they're so lonely. It's like, where's the relationship? I want a girlfriend. I'm so lonely. I want a boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever you're into. But since they don't go out, it's like, they don't really have that soul bond with someone. They don't have that connection. They can't physically hold someone. So what do? They meet someone online. And what happens then is that now, instead of going outside to get that interaction that you need to fill the lonely void that you have, it's just temporarily filled online. Yeah, in that moment, like, you're talking to someone, you have your Discord e-girl with you, or you have someone with you on call, like, you're talking to them. But then once the call ends, you're left back with that reality again of there is no one around. Like, I don't have anyone that I can hold at night. I don't have anyone that I can like really share this soul bond, this soul bonding connection in relationship, because that's how online relationships are. Now, with me saying all that, I already know people are gonna be a lot of shit towards like, oh my god, incel, oh my god, get him out, get this kid out of here. Okay, hold on guys, I need to beat the incel allegations again. I need to beat them once again. Hold on, let me cook, guys, let me cook. But then again, it's also like, why are you qualified to talk about this? You're not at all. You're just some random kid on the internet. And yeah, you're right, I am some random kid on the internet. But the reason why this is something that's on my mind is because, now of course this is not the case now, but my first ever relationship was exactly this. My first ever like relationship was an online relationship. Now, as embarrassing as it is to say that, it's true, that's really how it was. And now what came with that is everything I just described. I was so lonely. I finally met someone online that I felt like I truly related to. Like, I felt like they got me for the first time. It's like no one else in my life outside really understood me to the level that I felt that I had with this one person. Whereas, you know, be calling at night like, oh man, oh I love you so much, and then you end the call and you go to bed and you're left there at night realizing that you're alone. There is no one actually there. Yes, there is someone out there. There is someone on the other side of the screen that is a real person, but they're not with you. You cannot hold them. You cannot feel the warmth of that person next to you helping you fall asleep at night. You don't have that because you're alone. Because that's the reality of it. But even then, with people in online relationships, how do you even know that the person at the other end of the screen is even real? Because you hear so many like situations of where someone gets catfished, or if you don't know what catfishing means, it's like you portray yourself as this person, but in reality you look like this. That's what it is. But why? Why Noth? Why are you talking about this? Like, why is this relevant right now? Because according to this, right, men now, a lot of guys now have 50% less friends than they did back in the late 90s, or in the 90s, only 30 years ago. Now, why is that? Okay, well, obviously address the elephant in the room. We all know what it is. It's like, it doesn't really need any introduction, but that's not to say like, oh my gosh, social media is all bad. We need to ban it. No. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of people just put this as their life because it's so addicting. It's like, you see it a lot in public where it's like, oh, I'm bored. All right, let me just whip it out. No, not that. No. Let me just whip out my phone. And then, you know, it's just there. You're just on your phone. I see this a lot now too, to where I'll go to like a social gathering with a few of my friends, and then the one thing that always happens every time, eventually people just stop talking. Like, we run out of things to talk about. So instead of coming up with new things to talk about or like diversifying the conversation, everyone, what do? They whip it out. Not that, their phone. They just whip out their phones and then just, that's it. It's just a whole room of no one talking, just being on their phone. Because it just seems like now a lot of people just don't have the social skills of what many other people used to have. Because you see it a lot with old people, right? Like, a lot of them have no problem going up to someone and just starting a conversation. Like, oh, hello, sir, how's your day? Whereas a lot of people now, it's like, for whatever reason, people are just so afraid to talk to each other. I touched on that in the other video, but going back to the chronically online people. So mainly what you see a lot, maybe if you ever used Discord before, right? You go on Discord and you'll see people with what is called matching profile pictures. Now, what does that mean? Typically, a lot of the time, if they're not joking, that is, those are two people dating online. Now, of course, that's not the case for all of them. It could just be like, you know, a normal couple that know each other in person, but then they just do that on Discord, which that's an entirely different thing. But when you're doing that with someone who is across the country or across the world, it's kind of just like, it's just kind of sad because they aren't entirely 100% sure that the person they are sharing this connection with is even real to begin with. I mean, yeah, sure, you can FaceTime, call, even Snapchat, but at the end of the day, they haven't physically been with this person in real life. But then typically, like, those types of people are like, they're the type of people that just cause so much drama in Discord servers. Like, you see it a lot where it's like, oh my god, the e-daters, they come into the server and then it ruins everything. It's total chaos. Like, what do? I don't know. For whatever reason, they just like talk shit to everyone. Why? I don't know. They just do. Then there's the Discord moderators. You know the stereotype, to where they have to be at least 300 pounds minimum and spend all day on Discord talking to underage Okay, we don't need to dive deep into that right now. So another thing, right? Sometimes I'll hop on Roblox with the boys, you know, very occasionally. It's like, oh, let's play this Roblox horror game. Let's play like Doors or something, or whatever is like trending at the time. Like, oh, okay, all right, let's do it. And you see it a lot there too, like with like Discord matching profile pictures. You see the same thing in Roblox. What is supposed to be a kids game, right? What is supposed to be a fun Lego kids game. You see people literally using that as like a dating platform. And what's so freaking crazy too is that Roblox themselves are trying to normalize that on the platform. Like, they've fully acknowledged it too, which is so weird. Why did they do that? I don't know. And the fact that they made it only 17 plus, it's like, why are you including like minors? That's a minor age. Like, what? Just make it 18 at that point. It's like, what are you doing? It doesn't make any sense. But you see a lot of them, they'll have like very similar outfits. Now, of course, that's not inherently a bad thing. If they want to do that, then sure, go ahead. But you see the same thing with them, like what I said on Discord. It's like, those people, the moment they go into a game, it's like they just cause so much drama for no reason. That's just what I've seen. Like, I'll be playing like natural disaster survival, you know, like with the boys, just you know, know, having a good time, trying to dodge the tsunami. And then what do I see in the corner? I see at least 3 couples, 3 online daters just there. And always, like almost every single time. Now, of course, this is not all of them, but it's like almost every single time they're trying to like chat hot shit to people. Like they're like, oh man, we're so much better than everyone else because I'm in a relationship and you're not. Yeah, well, at least I can actually hug my girlfriend, so suck it. But then it doesn't end there. This is not just like a closed case with just Discord and Roblox. Like, okay, whatever, that's just them. What if you want to play shooter? Okay, let's go to Valorant. A very popular, one of the most popular shooters right now. What do you see when you go in there? Oh my gosh, it's the same thing. It's more online couples going in there again. Okay, now of course, now I need to specify. There's no hate is being expressed towards anyone. I'm not hating on anyone. But you know, when you're trying to have a chill game and you see these couples in there being like, yes, we're in a relationship and you're not, and then they're completely ruining the game because they're bringing the whole team down. Then it's like, okay, now you're just ruining the fun for everyone. There's always this one consistent thing with all of them. They're always like, yes, we are made for each other. We are the ones. We're going to be together forever. Then what do you see? Like a week later, they always break up. It's like it's like the same thing on Discord. It's like world record longest relationship on Discord, 2 months, and it's consistent with every other game. But then again, like with a lot of people doing this, it's really not their fault a lot of the time. Because like I said, I've even done this too. As much as it pains me to say it, I have done it before. Would I ever do it again? Fuck no, I would never do that again. No, never. But why do people tend to online date and just go towards having long distance relationships? The reason being, it's like they probably don't have much of a social life where there's no one around that they can really relate to, you know? What a lot of people don't talk about is like right after graduating high school, okay? If you don't go to college, or even if you do, if you don't go to college, which is the route I took, I'm not going to college, there's almost no one who's your age. There's no one who's like teens and 20s, at least in my area. There's just like the youngest person to me is maybe like 24 years old and I'm still 19. So it's like there's not really anyone to relate to because they have their own lives. They're doing their own thing. It's like everyone else is either like in their 30s, 40s, in the real world. Now, of course, if you go to college, yeah, you can have a social life there, but then once that's over, it's like, how often do people really keep in contact with people that they graduated with, whether it's high school, whether it's college? It's like, it's not many. I've had a few of you like reach out to me, DM me saying like, yeah, I've been going through the same thing. It's like, I don't feel like there's anyone else I can really relate to in my area or anyone else in person. So what does that lead to? That leads to online, to where you meet someone from across the world who's going through the exact same thing that you're going through. And it feels like for the first time ever, you can truly just relate to someone who's going through the same thing. They have the same interests as you. Maybe they're even the same age as you. Okay, now I have to clarify first, if you're dating someone online, but you actually meet up with them, that's different. That's an entirely different thing. However, when it's solely just based online, like you've never met them in person, you probably never really will meet them, that's when it becomes a problem, because then it's an unhealthy obsession, because then it just takes over your mind. It's like that's the only person you ever think about. It's like, oh, screw all of you in person. This is the only person that matters to me, is these few pixels on the screen that bring me happiness every day. But then the sad reality is that you'll have an argument with that person, maybe like a disagreement over something. Then what happens? The relationship crumbles. That's it. It's done. It's over. What I forgot to mention is that this is depending on the bond that each person had with each other. Yes, I know this happens all the time in real relationships, and I've had to navigate this situation many times myself. But normally, the two of you come to an agreement or things just calm down and it's back to normal again. However, with online/long distance relationships, people tend to be more flaky per se, and it doesn't take much for everything to come crumbling down, especially when you add in the fact that most people in online relationships don't have the experience, knowledge, or social skills to really steer things back in the right direction. Then now you're left back at square one because you don't have a social life. That's it. Now there's nothing. Now I know a lot of my videos just seem like, oh, it's all doom and gloom, we're all screwed. No, that's not what I mean. I really don't intend for it to be like that, although it does come off like that a lot of the time. It's really not how it's meant to be, because I say this as someone who's went through this experience myself. It's like that used to be my life at one point. It's a lot different now, obviously, than what it used to be, but it's a lot of the time it's that I look back, like I'll look at people who are in online relationships and then I see my younger self in them. I get it. There was really no one else that relates to you, like who's close by. Like you can't just meet up with them. But even then, it's like the online relationships that do end up meeting in person, yeah, you get to see them in person for a little bit, but then what happens when they have to go back to where they live. It's like, that's it, it's over. Then again, now you're left at night to where you don't have that person anymore. Now it's lonely. The realization sets in that you really don't have anyone that you can share that physical bond with. This isn't the case with all of them, but it is for like the vast majority. There's always going to be exceptions to everything. Like there's some online relationships that have worked, but the likelihood of it actually working out for a lot of these people is just extremely low. It's like, it just doesn't happen. It's just not how it is. They never work, pretty much ever. But I feel like it's an entire cycle really, because how the saying goes, it's that connections aren't built while being with the person. They're built when you're away. So what I mean is, right, have you ever just been like so mad at someone, like you just can't stand them, but then you go away and then like a month later you're like buddy with them? What's up, dude? We're so cool. Whoa. The same thing goes with relationships. It's like maybe you might get tired of your partner in the meantime, then you know you spend like a week away from each other and then it's like the spark is there again. It's like the soul bond that when you first met each other. However, when that separation period is prolonged indefinitely to where you can never meet up with that person, then that leads to an unhealthy obsession. Now, all the time, that is the one thing on your mind, thinking like, oh man, I really wish my partner can just teleport to me right now so that I can hold them. But no. And as someone who's went through this myself, it sucks. It's never worth it. It really just, it's just a lose-lose situation. It's like, yeah, in the moment when you're speaking to them, like you feel like you're connected with someone. This is finally someone I can bond with, I can connect with. Like I'm not lonely for once. But then there's also people that just take advantage of this, that take advantage of a lot of these people being lonely. Point in case, it's like Discord e-girls, you know, you see a lot of the people, they pretty much just like become sugar daddies for these girls that they'll never meet in their life. And what's crazy is that there is an entire website dedicated to this too. It's like you can go on, like I'll have to look through it through because I don't know the name of it right now, but where you can go onto this website and pay a girl to play video games with you. That's just like the most depressing thing I've ever heard. It's like, now one thing that I do need to make clear, yes, I did talk about like dating apps and all this other stuff in my other video. However, what I was getting at there is that you use the tools that we have now to meet someone online, but then meet up with them in person and have it continue from there. Sure, you can make the argument that dating apps technically count as an online relationship, but the intention from the very start is that you discover each other's existence, then you have it continue in person from there on out, not solely having your interactions with each other only be through a screen. Man, these apps need to fucking sponsor me, I swear. Now, of course, if you don't want to use them because you think it's degenerate or whatnot, then that's perfectly fine. You don't have to either. I get that. I'm just saying that with the direction everything is moving now and the invisible but ever-growing mass social anxiety, it's just been a more convenient option that's gotten me success when I didn't know where to start or how to start. However, when people don't ever have that, when they don't ever meet up in person and they just get into a relationship without having the one main thing that every relationship needs to succeed, which is the physical connection, and thinking it will work is just delusional. That's just straight up delusion. Because even with the successful online relationships, what did they have at the very end? They met up and lived with each other. That's why they were successful in the end. And even then, the ones that do succeed, it's so incredibly rare. Like it's like 90% of them never work out. They never work. If you want to have an online relationship and you just have all that, then sure, whatever, like do your own thing. But what I'm trying to get at is when people try to portray this on us, like when they purposefully try to go out of their way, go into games like online communities and try to portray to the people that are single that they're better than them because they have a relationship. Yeah, they don't have a physical connection. They don't have that. Like you're still lonely. You're still lonely in real life. When they try to claim and start beef with people that they're better, it's just stupid. It's delusional. Is that at the end of the day, they still get no play. It's like, I don't know why they're trying to like portray it to everyone. And then, right, you know, with like the online daters, it's like, yay, you're flexing that you're dating a minor, you pedophile. Don't even get me started on the recent situation. That's the thing too. It's like with the whole like online world, it's like you never know who you're talking to. You really don't know this entire person's, like, you don't know them. You don't know them as a person. You don't know their intentions. Whereas in person, you can kind of get a sense, you know, like from their body language. But when you reduce it to just Discord and everything like that, it's like, yeah, you can have your face cam on, but a lot of the time you just have it off. So then you just have their voice to go off of. So to wrap it up, forming a relationship online isn't bad as long as you meet that person in real life. But when you never have that and you only have relationships online, and you think it's always gonna work out every time. That's just delusional. You said that with the last like 15 girls that you've dated online. It's like, what are you talking about? I had this best friend who was like my ride or die best friend, and that's like the only thing he would ever do. He would just, every relationship he would get into, it was always an online relationship. I think still to this day he probably has never gone into like a real actual relationship, which if that's the case honestly deserved, because I found out that he is a creep, he's a weirdo. Now to wrap things up, because this video is getting too long now, silence. With all that being said, how do you find a real relationship? The soul bond. Well, it's really like advice as old as time. Be yourself, you know, be outgoing, talk to more people, go outside. But what if I told you that I know the secret formula? I have a tried and true proven method that I've been using to get so many bitches. So the secret to getting unlimited partners of whatever you want, the secret is you need...
No way! You are a stupid police officer, I hate you! Wait, I have an idea. I will use my diarrhea to make the officer slip and be knocked out so I can get his keys and escape.